So you said that mobile developers out there that are interested in iTraf should put their business cards here. Can you tell us about what they can expect from from iTraf? Let's say I'm a mobile developer and I'm interested in iTraf. What am I going to get from it?
Yeah. So I'm here. Yeah. Okay. So our photo recognition technology, which is pretty fast and pretty high accurate, it's open for all mobile developers around the world. So what you can expect is, for example, if you want to build something like SaveUp, you can do it in 20 minutes there. You go there, upload your pictures you want to recognize. It can be a picture of whatever you want, and then you just download the ready-to-go mobile app. And so the idea behind it is that Amazon and the big companies like Google, Amazon, they already bought companies like iTraf, and they keep that technology for themselves, which really, really sucks. So we want everybody around the world to build their own apps like Amazon has, like Google has, like Evernote has, with photo recognition. So you can get that for free because we just have the invitation-only stuff right now open.
Okay, so you have a big database of things, and let's say I make a picture of, let's say, Eiffel Tower, right? And then I call your API, and then you tell me that it's an Eiffel Tower?
Yeah, something like that. You can just upload, and then you get the ready-to-go app with photo recognition which you can really develop. You can add the geo-position there stuff, you can add the animations, games, whatever you want. What we gave you is a photo recognition stuff.
Okay, and another thing I'd like to ask about is raising money in Poland, because you've been founded by Polish investors, by SpeedUp, by Innovation Nest, and can you tell us your experience about that? How to evaluate your company, how to work with Polish investors. I assume you've probably talked to investors that offer EU money, how they are different from the ones you got, and yeah, if you could share some experiences from that, because I know that there are people in the audience that are talking to investors now. So it's like, if you could give us your experiences in that regard.
So with all the respect to investors, but they don't really know what you guys are going to build, and they don't have enough time to get to know that just straight to the roots. So it's act of selling. It's like act of selling something to somebody. It's nothing else. Like I have the on my blog. There's no address here, but you can easily find it. Is a whole bunch of things I've learned from raising money. That was my second time in my life raising money there, and I've learned a lot of things. First one is that there is no great way about evaluating a company. When you're selling a car, it's you compare your car to somebody else's car, and you say, well, they're pretty much the same. So this guy wants 5,000 euros for that, so I take 6,000 because I go to 5,000 at the end. Like what I've learned, and that was my biggest mistake at the beginning, but because people told me, I just quickly realized, was that there is nothing we can compare to. Because, well, you cannot compare iTraf to Google or whatever. It will be like nothing there. But if you compare to your competition, they always different. You're looking for different stuff, so you don't want to, compare. There's nobody to compare to. But there are like few ways you can evaluate your startup, and that's like business models or economic stuff. So I've learned that I have to know how much money I want and how much shares I'm going to give, which makes me searching the way of doing that. And we end up with that was, I cannot tell how much, but that was a very high evaluation. When I was going to investors, they were laughing at my face. I was like, okay, but I hired a finance advisor, and she did a great job. She just helped me to build a model and assumptions, and basing on that assumptions, I was able to say, hey, my company is worth right here. And they say, well, we are laughing at you. I say, well, okay, you can laugh, but I get assumptions, I get model. We can discuss about the model, but you cannot laugh at me that I just take it up from the out of my head. So if you go to investors, I know it's hard, because if you have the idea, there's nothing to evaluate. It's like, but I always hate people talking that idea is worth you 1 zloty plus tax. That's what I've heard from some investors, that, oh, you have an idea, that's great, but that's 1 zloty plus tax. It's useless. I don't really think. So I think they evaluated your own business before you go to people. It's searching, and that's the homework. Because otherwise, they're going to tell you, well, we don't want to give you more than X, and you have to deal with it. So that's the thing. And yeah, I have pretty more like experience, but maybe negative.
Yeah, but how do you choose your investors then? Because I guess you've talked to quite a few of them, and you ended up with Speed Up and Innovation Nest, which are, I guess, on the Polish market, they are the best known and or considered the best investors, right? Or?
Well, I really visited like 70. I mean, I talked to 70 investors. I have my Excel spreadsheet somewhere on Google Docs, and that says 70. Half of it didn't really like what we do. They said, well, we don't like it. Some of them didn't like it because I talked to wrong people. I was talking to companies like Balderton or Dari Hansen or Intel Capital. And a year ago, we had something more like idea, but it was not million users business. So they don't really care. So I made the mistake talking to wrong people. So targeted talks, it's so important. So if you raise money for a business which is like $30 million, you talk to different people that it's obvious, but I made that ugly mistake, which takes a lot of time. So how did I start it? I went to the Capitol on stage in Amsterdam last year, and I was invited there with Save Up because they like product, and I promised myself to spending every month time for searching for investors. I was just searching, just going to Vienna, where we were top 10, and I went to Germany. Holy crap, it's so hard to raise money there because they invest only. Not maybe only, but they really look for German companies, or you have to move to Germany. I didn't want to move to Germany, so that was tough. I was searching, so my list was really long, and then I was going down, searching, and I found like more of them. And Bartek Gola, the guy who was here and what I met by accident, is my type of guy, which means there is a chemistry between us. We don't really need to have board meetings or stuff like. We can have a 3 minutes phone call every day. So this is like, you like your girlfriend, you like your boyfriend, you like your investor. You just and he likes you. So it's more like Michael Jordan having like coach. He's a coach, but he likes you and you like him. So then I have Rafael Hahn, which you know, and he's that type of guy like Bartek. So answering your question, I was choosing people because I like them and they like me. So now I get the message from Rafa right now, how we doing and stuff. That's everything. I mean, that's you just like. And we had a great time in San Francisco together. We went for beer. That's the type of guy you just hanging with. And you learn from them because they're older, they have a lot of more experience. They say, hey man, don't get so intense. I mean, just chill out and whatever. And then we have Innovation Nest, which are different type of guys. They are very analytic oriented. They very like funnel, whatever, if you know, funnel building, lean startup strategy. Piotrek, of course, your guest here before, he had a lot of experience, of course, building, the companies, So it's not that we don't like each other, but it's a different relationship. It's a Bartek and Rafał gives me a lot of networking opportunities. I can have a conf call with the guy in World Bank because they know him. Piotr and Innovationists, they know a lot of people too, but they more analytic oriented. I am not very analytic oriented. So I chose them and they chose me, of course. It's both ways. Because I saw a gap in this investors, we can be really network people, but we need somebody to make sure about analytics. So that's my supervisory board now, and some of them pushing me to analytics stuff, which I'm always very bad at, and some of them helping me with networking. So I was trying to choose people I like, and or people can give me like a knowledge I don't have. So that's something I did.
Okay. Do we have any questions from the audience? Somebody would like to ask a question?
Where's your company registered?
In Poland. But you mean city or?
No. Just you
country?
said not to register in Poland, so I was just curious.
Yeah, Poland, and we are trying to register a company now in States. And yeah, but it's in Poland right now.
Okay. Anybody else? Any questions? No questions.
No questions.
Oh, there's one more. Go ahead.
You mentioned not being a programmer. Or would you say you're like the concept guy and the glue, the glue and driving force, so to speak? Then.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear the
Okay,
last part.
so let me rephrase. So the question was about you, because you said you were not a programmer, and the question was whether you were the concept guy or the driving force behind it, or what was your role if you were not a programmer?
Oh, okay, I understand. So my role is basically I'm not trying to use big words here, but just to build a team. So I have this natural skill. My father has it too, that we kind of feel good with some kind of people, and I'm trying to look for that people to my team and constantly recruiting, and that's my part. So building a team in that meaning that I'm trying to find somebody there and joining our team because I might think it could be good. And the second thing is being a face of the company, which means that I'm trying to sell invisible, I'm trying to sell ideas which we are going to go, getting feedback, influencing, shaping the vision of the company, because as many people said, there's a fine line between vision and hallucination. So I don't want to go in that way when we build something nobody uses. So that's what I told you, that I don't have the office, I don't have a desk in my office, so I'm trying to push myself to the market as much as I can. So that shaped the vision, that shaped the knowledge, that shaped the feedback. And then I'm trying to get that info down to people and discuss it with them. So that's basically my role. I'm very bad in interface design, and I'm very bad at programming, and I'm very bad in Excel, Microsoft Excel. And so that's the skills I don't have, and I'm trying to find people they can really enjoy doing stuff that I can't do. And then I really love being on the market, talking to people, presenting, getting attention, closing deals, like building networks. So that's basically my job, which is, yeah.
Okay, does anybody else have a question?
I do.
There you go. Ula?
Yeah. Are you somehow learning the technology you're using, or is it just because you're selling a product now, like definite products of photo recognition system? But are you trying to educate yourself, your team, about the technology itself, about the whole vision of keyboards instead?
So do you mean that we are just taking a training about it, or?
Yeah, like educating. Yeah.
Okay.
Not only selling the product you did, but like somehow thinking forward what to do else in this area.
Okay. I don't know if I just understood that correctly, but I answered this way, and just tell me if that was if that will be an answer. Yeah, of course, our engineering team, except for coding a whole bunch of hours, they have to learn a lot, because we're using a lot of different algorithms that are available on the market, or we create our own algorithms. So our product is a mix of many things, like usual products are. Then we learn. We have a special, like one person in the company. She spends like 10 hours weekly on studying the competitors. So we learn from them. We're trying to position our technology among them to see if we're really good or if something we do we are crap. The important thing is that we are not augmented reality. So this is something else. It took us a while to learn what the difference is. Every day, like now, for example, we just signed a contract to get a deal, to do the deal for the company, and we don't really know if our technology can make that deal. So it's not that we signed a deal and we'll screw up, but we signed a deal under specific conditions, but it's because we want to learn if our algorithm is able to do it, or if we can develop this algorithm in that way. So it's a lot of learning, yes, you're right, and of course not so much time we want to spend on it. But I do also pay a lot of attention to learning, giving people opportunity to learn about soft skills, like communication, like negotiation, because sometimes programmers, they have to negotiate between themselves if this is a more important task than the other one. So I do really pay a lot of attention to people talking inside the company and communicating. And talking about technology, one more thing is that we do have now 10 developers working on photo recognition, and we want them to grow as well. So they can grow when they have a time for studying. So I'm trying to sign different deals that they push them to study. Because if you give them, like, everybody knows about that Google thing, right? That they have this Friday off or half of Friday off that they can learn and read. So that I'm bad in it. I mean, it doesn't really work in my company, because people on Friday they prefer to finish something they didn't have a time on a week, so they don't really learn. So I'm trying to do tasks like we paid for sometimes not. They can do like and it's a task for them to learn. Was that the answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, any more? There you go.
When did you switch on global thinking?
When I realized that investors are not going to give us enough money. It was a push. It was not like I say, well, I'm going to be global now. Well, yeah, there was like, I realized that SafeUp cannot grow to 1 million users, because even Allegro or the companies like that, they don't really have million of users. They do have million, but not billions. So I said, well, I want my business to be like $1 billion business, not like $1,000 business. So I said, I cannot do it in Poland. I was trying to launch SafeUp in Germany and London and UK, but it was hard because we need like books, like partners. I don't know if you're familiar with SafeUp. If not, just you can download that and check it. If it doesn't like it, just delete it. But just to check that we need like partners. In Poland, we got 74 online stores. They hooked up to SafeUp, and SafeUp now has a 2.5 million products in it, which means 2.5 million photos inside the database. By the way, you can buy music, video games, and stuff like that with no delivery fee. We got a deal with one of them. So whenever you buy a product, like a gift for somebody, just use SafeUp, you will not be charged for delivery fee. So then I realized, hey, I cannot launch SafeUp in Germany, in UK, in very fast way. So I said, well, what to do? And then, accident, we went to that startupsfest.pl, which we won, and there was like, I don't know if you know how the startups, honestly saying, I was about to skip that event because that was so boring. I mean, like going there and sitting all day, talking to mentors, and I was like, oh my God, I was like, so I sent somebody there. But they called me and said, hey man, it's like going to be serious here. So I just say, okay, let's see that. And there's like, if you go to startupfest.pl, if you've never been, and this is great for Mula actually, because you got 8 tables, and every table is 4 mentors. You go to them for 20 minutes and they ask you questions. So you have to answer constantly, convincing them that your business is great. After all day like that, there's a party, but you don't really want to go there because your head is like this, because they keep asking questions. And that's where the idea of API was born, because they said, well, you can't really launch SaveUp. You know Antiweb.pl and Maciej Budzik with MediaFund.pl? You know these guys? Who don't know them? Antiweb. You don't know them, right? Who knows them? Okay. All right. You can ask this guy, he knows. So, and there was like a table, there was like Grzesiek Marczak, there was like Maciej Budzik and Artur Kurashiński, and they were sitting like this and saying, man, this SaveUp is this really, really crap thing. Like, taking picture and buying things? How you can really tell people about it? They don't scan QR codes, and you want them to take picture of something they don't know they can take picture of? I was like, it's a crap. And I was like, oh my God, if I'm going to win this competition, I have to change the direction. And 2 tables before, there was Piotrek from Innovation Nestor, that's how we met. And there was a guy from one of the marketing agencies in Poland, and they say about API idea. And I said, okay, let's test that idea at the 8 tables. And I said, start talking to these people about the API. And we had a really great conversation. So Grzesiek Marczak and Maciek and Artur, they gave us a lot of stuff. So they really like it. We, of course, already start building API a little bit, but a different way that they said. So you go through the tables, and they keep telling you about it. And then I say, oh, man, that's like, listen to this flow. I was like, oh my God, I got a global product here. I was like, launching API is like so fucking global. I was like, wow, let's do this. And that's how we turned to be thinking about global. And that was this point when everybody started, everything started. So listening to what people say.
Okay, any more?
Oh.
The last question, go ahead.
You mentioned you have 10 programmers working in your company. I'm just curious, how or where did you find them? Like, because you also need to have good working relationship with your programmers, say, or with your employees. So how did you go about finding those people that you employed in your company?
Yeah, well, I have a that's brilliant question. It's brilliant because recruiting people cannot be processed from start to end. It's like just going all the time, and it's so easy to say, but if you really hunting for monkeys in States, there was not so much time for hunting monkeys in Poland. So you have to really find time in your calendar to talk to people all the time. Answering your question, I had a pretty good rule, and it worked for me. Maybe it will work for you guys too. Is that whenever we want to hire somebody, I want that person to talk everybody in our office. So this person is going to have like 14 interviews, like just 14, just everybody through Skype, phone call. I even have my best man, my best man is an English translator guy. He translates stuff. So he even calls people to check if they can speak English. I give him a phone number. He called them like by surprise and asking questions in English. So, like, I'm doing this because I made a lot of mistakes with hiring people, not because they didn't know how to program or how to sell or how to do stuff, but their attitude was different. So if you have a guy in office that, for example, is always unhappy, is always, complaining, it's like a cancer. It's going to people. They said, well, you know what? We think that this API can be a bunch of shit because this new guy, he knows. I said, that's something that if you send that person to 14 people, they will find out if he's a guy that can be good around. Skill, and of course, if you need a coder, that person must code. But that kind of skill from some level can be learned. If you have somebody that have a great attitude, it doesn't have to be smile all the time. It can be a problem solver, motivator, I don't know, social guy, let's go for a beer afterward, stuff like that. So, and there is a skill in that person, that's perfect match. So, if I send this person to 14 people in the company to talk with everybody, they will find that this guy has a great attitude or good attitude and also a skill. So, and I had to, firing people is always hard. I mean, but we made two wrong choices with people. One of them quit suddenly, but itself didn't even show up next month. And one of them we need to fire because we made a mistake and we didn't. But for now, it worked pretty good for us.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing your experiences.